think it'll be good to just take a brief look at what Citrix SD-WAN is, how it works. So on the left-hand side, you'll see there's a branch where your users are connecting from. And on the right-hand side, we have this data center where all the resources are located. And in between these two sites, we have our WAN connection, which typically makes use of an MPLS circuit. And we have to be satisfied that traffic flowing over this WAN can only use that MPLS connection. But if the connection fails or it becomes so degraded that it's unusable, then our branch connections go down and our users are no longer able to carry on with their work. And so what many organizations end up doing is they add this additional connection to the site, which could be like a DSL connection. And so now when an outage occurs, this backup link will be connected so that the traffic will instead flow over the DSL connection. But unfortunately, it's still a new WAN connection. And so the result of this is downtime for the user. And this means they have to reconnect to their sessions, often over this lower throughput connection. And then again, if the MPLS recovers, the users are disconnected again so that they can reestablish this new session on a new MPLS, hoping that it stays up. So with SD-WAN to a different level, instead of having these multiple different WAN links, we create a single virtual WAN where both of these connections are used at the same time with traffic flowing over both connections simultaneously. And so with Citrix, it allows you to use other types of connections also, such as consumer-grade internet connections and LTE, and even using different bandwidth sizes. And then what we do on a per packet basis is we use the metrics collected from real-time traffic so that we learn about the latency, about loss, about jitter, congestion of each one of these links. And we can make decisions on the best path to take per packet that we are sending. So think about Waze and Google Drive and, and how it uses the different cars to determine the best route to take. This is what the SD-WAN solution does. And so now if a link fails, SD-WAN can detect that outage within 2 to 3 packets and react with a lossless failover. And even under these conditions, and with links that are typically unmanaged, we are able to apply bandwidth control, quality of service to those links, and we can make sure that time-sensitive traffic gets prioritized. But many of you may know that quality of service configurations can be fairly static. I realize this is quite technical, with both proactive and reactive actions taken. And if we take the road analogy, we sometimes set off just driving in a direction and we don't know if there's going to be parking when we get there. And this is what QoS also lacks in our environment. So what Citrix SD-WAN does is we have an awareness of both ends of the link. So we call it dual-ended QoS. And what it means is that by the time you send off, you're off to your next destination. In the car analogy, you know whether there's going to be parking or whether you should turn around, and so that you are not turned around and have to drive around and causing more congestion on the road. Instead, what we have is we throttle the sender down so that by the time the packet gets to the other end, there will be space for it to park.